Hey guys, welcome back to the homestead, or the Florida homestead, whatever we want to call it. We wanted to do a quick review of the truck, follow up on everything we've done to it. You guys watched all the video series, or watching the video series. We now have somewhere around 5,000 or 6,000 miles on the truck since we did all the work on the engine. Still very happy with it. A couple things we'll talk about as we walk around it that we do different if we were going to do it again. But as we're talking about the engine itself, very happy with that. Everything's doing everything we expected it to do. Running great. Fuel mileage actually seems to be a little bit better. Power is, 2 or 3 fold, so there's no concern with power at all. But you guys might notice that it's changing color, and if you've watched us on Facebook, you might notice that we've been spending some time at the pick and pull. So you'll notice that this fender's red. It's not maroon and silver anymore. It's not all rotted out. It does have a little surface rust right here, but down here at the pick and pull in Florida, we're able to get fenders for about $30-something. We're able to get complete doors with glass, controls, everything for $60-something. We got a new hood for about 50 bucks. So while we have all the sheet metal at home, you guys saw that we went to Connecticut a while back and picked up a whole set of sheet metal for the truck. The prices are so good, we decided that we would start swapping sheet metal down here and just lugging some stuff back to Maine as well. These trucks are very common. Rusted sheet metal is very common in New England, so having extra sheet metal can never be a bad thing. So you'll notice we've done the doors. Again, rust free, no rust anywhere. The body itself is still in pretty rough shape. We did actually find one yesterday for $225. It's absolutely mint, but we're running out of time to go pick it ourselves before we want to head back to Maine. So we're gonna let that ride and we'll see what happens next winter. And as I said on Facebook the other day, we probably can't call it old rusty anymore. It's getting to be not old rusty, it's getting to be multicolored. I don't know. We'll paint it eventually, but we want to, our thinking is this summer we're probably going to get the transmission rebuilt. Yeah, I'm not sure how the sun's doing for you guys there. This summer we're probably going to get the transmission rebuilt, go through the transfer case, probably rebuild the rear end because it's got 300,000 miles on it. It's not any problem with it, but we're probably going to go through and change all the bearings. And then when we get down here next winter, we'll look for maybe a cab and a body, and then we'll go to the process of painting. But we just don't want to start painting stuff and then find a beautiful cab, because you can buy a cab at a local pick and pull for I think $125. So it's just crazy. There's no point in actually trying to reuse this one. So that's kind of our plan with the old Dodgy anyways, is to kind of keep progressing forward. Our theory is that this summer will be mechanical. Summer of 2022, that is. Hopefully we get this video up before that. And next fall, next winter, will be body work and then into paint. We're not going to make it a show truck by any means, but we would like to put it back all one set of colors. We really, in keeping with tradition, we want to go with the maroon and silver. That's the color the truck always was, so the truck has some sentimental value and trying to keep it looking the same. We did pick up a set of front adapters and 2 Bud wheels. That's all we could find at the pick and pull. We have toyed with the idea of turning this into a dually for a better hauling truck. I'm not sure if it's the Cooper tires, if it's the camper, exactly what it is yet, but we've got a little bit of a squirrely feel in the truck. A lot of the reading I'm doing is telling me that it's the actual tires not broke in yet, so we're just going to kind of go with it. It's not the trailer swaying at all, we know that. I've actually intentionally made the trailer sway and it immediately straightens the truck right back out. So we're not sure where we'll go on that, but the wheel spacers were like 15 bucks a piece to pick and pull, and the Bud wheels were $6 a piece. So it's like, well, when you can buy wheels for $6 a piece, we're not really out much. We're going to put them in the shed and see what happens. So that's kind of where we're at with the Dodge. We'll update you again here in another couple weeks. We're getting ready to trek north with the camper, if you guys can see back there. So that'll be another 1,600 miles put on the truck under load. We did put, if you want to follow me around, I don't know which way is better for you guys, but we did put an auxiliary fuel tank in. I'm sure most of you know that fuel is just like very, very, very inexpensive right now, almost free. Um, that being said, one of the issues with traveling with the camper is that you can't always find good access exactly when you'd like to find it for fuel. So what I mean by that is the truck holds 37 gallons. It gets 15-ish miles to the gallon when hauling the camper, give or take a few. That puts me right at about a 500-ish mile day before I'm close enough to low that I really want to start finding fuel. Some days I'd like to run 600 or 700 miles, and while I can stop and get fuel, it has to be a station that I can get the camper in and out of, and access needs to be right. And price. Some of you may or may not have noticed that when you're driving down the highway, all of those nice, very convenient truck stops, the price is a lot more per gallon than it is if you get off the beaten path a little bit. So we went ahead and we put this in. It's only 55 gallons, but that's quite an quite an expansion, if you will. It's plumbed right into the fuel tank. There's a check valve in the fill neck, so we can turn a valve on here, and it gravity feeds in and keeps this tank full. So like when we head off north, we can turn that valve on and run off this tank, and that just gives us closer to 100 gallons of fuel total instead of 37. And that's going to put us where we can then pick and choose where we buy our fuel, where it's more reasonably priced, and also let us stop fewer times on the way home, hopefully maybe only once. So that is something we did while we were here. But other than that, old Rusty is starting to become, less rusty. So real happy with everything we've done to it. Like I say, this summer is going to be mechanical. We're going to focus on transmission, rear end. There's a seal in front end is dribbling a little bit. We'll change that. We're just going to go ahead and get it mechanically 100%, basically brand new. And then we'll go for the body work next winter when we can pick a few more parts, like maybe a new cab. Who knows, maybe even a completely rust-free southern frame if we find one. So we don't really know. We just know that the old truck is worth keeping running. When you go to the dealership and look at a brand new diesel, you're 60, 70, 80, $100,000 depending on what you get. Granted, it'll be a little bit nicer than this. It'll be, a little more cushy inside, have a few more assets, but hey, this one's got air conditioning, power steering, and power brakes. What more do you really need? So hope that answers all the questions on the Dodge, and like I said, we'll give you an update when we get home. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.